Today we are going to be playing a new farming simulator game called No Place Like an Abandoned Treehouse in a Deserted Wasteland. Just kidding, No Place Like Home. This is a brand new farming sim game that I've actually seen a few other people starting to play. It's still kind of like in the alpha, beta, whatever testing stages stuff. It has a few more quarters of updates to go, so the full game is not fully released out yet. But we're still going to be showing a little bit of what there is to do in the game and what currently is in the game before they actually start implementing everything else. It has a lot of promises and I really like it, and I'm super excited for the full game to be released. Now, for the tutorial, it was really simple, really basic. It really got down to what you needed to know to just start playing the game. It tells you with the little pop-ups what buttons you need to press while you were walking up to the objects so you knew how to go through them. And then it even kind of gives you a little bit of a warning, for the red ones that we're about to come up on, that you need a different weapon to use. And during the tutorial, I was a little confused because I couldn't find another weapon that I would need to use for it, but it does tell you later on in the game where to find that weapon. So it was nice to kind of, see that there was an option later where I need to kind of start looking out for that to figure out what weapon I would possibly need to use. It was nice that they included it, but I wish that it would have told you which weapon so I could have looked out for it better. Now, as you run along, you keep seeing me vacuum up stuff. There is a little bit of a glitch where occasionally trash will stick to the ground and you just have to vacuum up extra. It's not that big of a deal. Also, ignore the fact that I completely did not use the space bar. I just assumed it was just like every other trash. It is not. The trash pillars need to be knocked down. The trash piles just need to be sucked up. I absolutely love the way that it also goes down. It's fantastic. I love it. The graphics in this game are pretty nice, and the animations for how they do things are, I don't know. I really like it. It's made really well. It's a good game. Now, as you're going through everything, you're slowly working your way up, and just ignore how long it's taking me to do this. I could not get this one piece. I just ended up giving up on it. It's no big deal. But as you keep walking forward and you're going through this little tutorial area, everything is nicely spaced out for you, so you have enough time to be able to take your time and work with everything and kind of understand where everything's going. Now, the recycling bit, super duper easy. I don't think it really needed that much understanding to it, but I do understand where it comes in the progression of how you're doing the tutorial. Also, I may have used it a little bit too many times, but I didn't know when it was going to be done, so I just kept pushing it. It's fine. But it gave you the availability to kind of move from one thing to another to show you how the progression of everything works together. Now, with this plant area, I was a little confused at how to put them down, and I still was even confused as playing the game, since I had larger plots while playing the actual game. I did not realize you have to move your physical person to get a little bit closer to the plots or you're not able to plant them. But at this point in time with the planting, I thought I was supposed to water them. I didn't realize that literally like 2 steps later after we pick up water and then we can water them. So I kind of wasted a few minutes of my time, but this is just the tutorial. It's no big deal. It's just getting used to the game. See, and as I come up to the water, I finally realized that I wasn't supposed to be spending so much time on the last one. The game will show you how to water the next plants. And I understand maybe the coding was a little bit easier to separate them out like that, so that way they can have different pop-up bubbles instead of having to crowd them all in one space. Understandable. I was just slightly confused at first because I usually don't have tutorials space them out that much for me. But this was really good. I really like the way that they showed you how to do everything. So by the time that it plops you into the game, which at the end of the tutorial, it kind of just sends you out into the world and you're done. I really like how it kind of showed you how to do the things that you're going to mainly be doing for the rest of the game. This was the cooker. You basically had the potatoes that you had just picked up, put it into the cooker, grabbed a meal. Like I said, I kept pushing it because I didn't know how many times we were supposed to do it, so I just kept hitting it. And also for this one, so we're going to kind of ignore that I didn't realize what it was trying to get me to do. I was able to suck it up, but technically you weren't supposed to. You were supposed to grab the block behind you and learn how to use it as a stepping stone. But I didn't realize that, so I kind of skipped a step. It kind of hurt me a little bit, but at the end, I did end up figuring out how to use it. It was just once I was already in the game, so it's fine. Also, this right here, I know I picked it up in the tutorial. I learned how to pick up items in this tutorial, but when I started playing the game, I completely forgot to actually how to pick up items. So I still had to go back to the menu and review it, but it was great because the menu is so helpful. It showed you what you needed to do and what buttons you need to press. Also, a great thing that you do have along the way is you do have Grandpa that you can always go back to and ask for any help on any of the instructions or how to play the game. I personally chose to not ask him any questions, but that's because I wanted to try to figure it out on my own, see how user-friendly it was without having to hold my hand with asking questions too often. And especially through the inventory and other menu options, they had all the buttons and how to do stuff so well laid out that I didn't have to ask Grandpa any questions, and everything else pretty much came naturally. Now, the inventory also reminds me a lot of Stardew Valley and Minecraft, since those are the two games that I think most often whenever I play this one. For the inventory, there is a limited amount of space, and you have to pick wisely on what you're going to put in your inventory at the time. But the great thing is you can craft chests, which you can place wherever. So if you want to organize your equipment and resources, you have availability to do that. But when you need to go down to the store and craft stuff, or if you just need to carry extra items, you have a large enough inventory to kind of hold it all. So whenever you're going into this place, you do start off in like this abandoned treehouse type of thing. Even your treehouse has trash in it that you have to clean up. The whole place is a mess. It's like they just left it here and thought you would come back and clean it up one day. So even whenever you start off at your house and you're starting to clean up, you kind of get a sense for how much cleaning you're going to have to do throughout the game. It is an abandoned wasteland, so there is a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of cleaning up. But if you're a little bit OCD and you really just want to clean up and that gets you going, then this game would be fantastic for you. You can go through destroying the trash piles, picking it up, and it makes it so nice and satisfying to look at this disgusting wasteland and feel proud for cleaning up and recycling and making it look beautiful. It really has that nice satisfaction feeling. Now, when it comes to the farming, it's kind of like every other farming simulator game, kind of like Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon. You just have to take the time every single day to water the crops and pick them, and then you just vacuum them all up. So it's not that hard of a process, and the best part is that you can pick up the different plots and move them around, so that way you can kind of have the plots wherever you'd like them in your little gardens in different places. And other than that, it's actually a really simple process, and it's just like every other kind of, general farming simulator game, so it's not that hard to pick up on. On to the crafting portion of this game. All right, so crafting honestly reminded me a lot of Minecraft, just a little bit different interface for it. It has all of the stuff as if it was the recipe book, so you can tell what everything takes to craft, and you have to use materials that you found around a place. But it doesn't have it where you actually are placing it in any order or anything like that to craft a pickaxe. You're just using different materials like recycled materials, the food you've created, let's say clay stuff, just whatever materials you're able to find around or grow like potatoes, and be able to craft it into new items that you can use on your farm and start helping make a difference on your farm and actually cleaning up the place and cooking better meals and recycling more and everything you can kind of think of. There's even birdhouses that help bring you seeds in the morning so that you don't have to go find your own. Now, there is also a skill section where you can collect these books, so that way it's kind of like you're adding skill points to certain items. You can increase your HP, the amount of damage certain weapons do. You can increase how much water you have inside your system at all times. So it's really nice, and it really helps increase your gameplay ability, and it's almost like you're leveling up to different things, but it still has a slight limitedness to it because you have to find certain books to be able to add to it, and there is only a limited supply of the book, so you have to spend your points wisely. Now, it does also require some other materials, but it's just like the same for every other crafting thing as if you were doing Minecraft and you were trying to craft the books, which take the material, and then you were also trying to use your XP to turn the book into an enchanted book. The fighting is an interesting one. I haven't really dealt with fighting like this before, but I would also probably most similarly compare it to the simplicity of Stardew Valley's fighting, where it's not too much effort. You can do a little bit of a kind of ranged weapon, but also if you just ram up to them and just smack them hard enough, you will destroy them. It will be fine. So it's not like you actually have to have much strategy to it. They're more of an obstacle to kind of just deter your path a bit. Oh my goodness. So this game, the attacking is not that, dynamic. It's pretty simple. It's easy, but They have this thing called the super chicken attack, and oh my goodness, it's fantastic. It just shoots out this fire, lightning, bolting chicken all over the place and kills all your enemies and destroys trash piles for you. Easiest way to clean up. The one bad thing is there is a cooldown for it, but you know, you just take your time. It'll be fine. It'll recharge back up, and then you can start blasting chickens at those robots again. Another great feature about this game is the ability to place items down, like the flower set and the bench that I got. I was able to place it wherever I wanted to, including also the items that you have to use, like the cooking station, the chicken coops, the robot hut, all of those things. You can just place it down wherever you want, as long as it doesn't interfere with fences and stuff. The game really doesn't matter. And even for inside my house, I was able to place, you know, the chests that I needed so that way I could drop my stuff off every night. I was able to place some furnaces in there so that way whenever I came in from the nighttime, I'd be able to grab the food real quick and then start a new batch in the morning. It was really good to be able to place stuff wherever you personally needed it and not wherever the game felt like you should have it. It really helped out for a lot of my own personal needs. Recycling. Oh my goodness. This game, if it's not trying to teach a message, I don't know what it's doing. This thing is trying to teach you a message about recycling and making the world a better place. And also, I mean, why don't we learn about this? It's great for the environment. I love it. And the recycling machine is so important because you can get so much more valuable materials out of it. This game also includes animals. So far, the game mainly just has 2 interactable animals with the chickens and the pigs. There is a few other ones that they have like houses for, where you have a dog, a cat, a raccoon, and then also you can unlock the fox, but those are more just stationary single animals that stay in their location. The chickens and the pigs, you can move their houses wherever you feel like it. You can go up to them every day, collect the stuff from them, either truffles or the eggs, and then you can pet, water, or feed them with whatever type of item they're wanting to eat that day. And it's a pretty cool system. I really like it. The animals are adorable as well. I have also heard that they're trying to add more animals as well in future updates. So that sounds really exciting. I love the animal aspect of games, so that sounds fantastic for me, and I'm really excited for it. Another, I don't want to necessarily call it an animal, but it kind of acts like an animal that you have in this game, is these adorable little shy robots. So whenever you're cleaning up trash, occasionally a little robot will run out, and not the red ones. We'll talk about those later. Those things are evil. But there's these cute little trash robots, and if you catch them and are able to suck up the trash off of them, you clean them, and it's this cute little pet robot. So if you make them a house, they'll go and stay in the house for you, and they'll deliver you different materials every single day. And it's fantastic because now you have cute little robot buddies all around the place, and it's so adorable. I would totally recommend this game, especially with all the promise that it has, since it's not even fully done and released yet. I feel like the final game is going to be so good. It's worth picking up. Also, you know, it is a pretty fun game so far. I really enjoyed it. I loved being able to find a new farming sim, especially the fact that I just finished Stardew Valley for like the 3rd time. But it's fine. I'm currently trying to finish up the brand new expansion place that they added to it with the update. You know, the new island and all of that stuff. But it's taking a while because those coconuts take a while to find. But we'll get to it eventually. But this game was a nice, refreshing break from playing Stardew Valley all the time. Gave me a little bit of something different, but yet the same thing that I'm starving for, you know? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really had a lot of fun making this video and a lot of fun actually getting to test out this new game and everything. I feel like it has a lot of promise to it, and I can't wait to see the final product. It's going to be so good. But yeah, that's it for the video, and I hope you guys enjoy another one, and bye!